This is indeed a fabulous day for me. I'm excited. And I have a few things to share with you this morning. I'm honored to be the recipient of the 2010 William L. Mayo Professorship Award. Let me simply say that it is a privilege to recognize all the people to whom much gratitude is due. And that is all of you, dear ladies and gentlemen, in the audience today, my colleagues, my family, and my friends. I especially want to recognize the freshman class of 2010, who are entering this very prestigious institution as I did some 40 years ago. My nephew, Harold Brown, is a member of this class, and like me, he is indeed blessed to have begun his educational journey here at Texas A&M Commerce, formerly known as East Texas State University. I'd like to thank my family, my mother, Miss Bertie Brown, and my sisters and brothers who have stood by me for many, many years. Their presence, their numerous sacrifices have propelled me to new heights, heights that would have been unreachable without their prayers, without their unfailing assistance. I'd like to extend a special thanks to my children, Melanie and Devin, who shared me with hundreds of teachers and administrators throughout my career. I would like to remember my wife, the late Patricia Brown, who began this journey with me and whose spirit of excellence still drives me forward to new ventures. Ladies and gentlemen, my acceptance and receipt of this award and honor would not be complete without letting you walk with me along memory lane to pay tribute to the many outstanding men and women who have influenced my professional growth and development and who have helped me reach the milestone in my career. First, I would like to share with you a decision that was made by my mother when I was just a baby. She and my father moved to a little town outside of Dallas named Ennis, Texas. You probably know it for football, for Texas Motorplex, and various other things. My mother and father worked very hard to save for a lot in which to purchase and to build a home to raise their children. It was my mother who made a very conscious and intentional decision to purchase a lot that was strategically located between two important institutions within the community. If you left my childhood home in Ennis and you walk to the left approximately 40 yards, you would encounter what my mother referred to as the schoolhouse. Boy, I spent many a day not just on Thinking Thursdays and Fabulous Fridays, but every day. There is where I received my foundation in my academic preparation. Additionally, if you left my home and you walk to the right approximately 50 yards, you would encounter what my mother called the church house. There, my spiritual development was nourished. In fact, the current pastor of that great church is here today, Pastor Stephen Edwards of Fourth Ward Baptist Church of Ennis, Texas. Thank you, Pastor Edwards, for continuing to instill Christian values in the members of Fourth Ward Baptist Church. From the schoolhouse came dynamic teachers and administrators who helped me to develop strong academic skills. I'm so grateful to have received guidance from Miss Lillian Alexander, Miss Alexander was my teacher and counselor, and she also attended my church, so I received a double blessing from her. She was both a spiritual and an educational role model for me. I want to offer my sincere thanks to her. She is not able to be here, but I am going to have a grand conversation with her tonight when I call her. I do have a very special person with me, Mr. Otto Carroll, my high school algebra teacher. Mr. Carroll, 93 years old, gets around much better than I do. He taught me that math was more about thinking and reasoning than memorization. He was also the town barber, so he continues to be highly respected an individual within the community. Mr. Carroll, thank you so much for helping me to understand that I could slay algebra. When I graduated from Ennis High School, I decided to attend East Texas State University. I can recall very clearly my first contact with A&M Commerce, formerly East Texas State University. I had completed the enrollment application and had been accepted as a freshman, and my friend, Jesse, decided that he was going to drive me to Commerce on a Sunday to move into the dorms. And I think we're still doing that. Even today, 40 years later, we're still moving in on a Sunday. I remember Jesse saying to me on a Sunday afternoon, he says, "I'm going to introduce you to the Director of Financial Aid." And I said, "Okay, on Monday, I'll make sure that we go over to meet him." And he said, "No, we're going to do it now." So it was indeed a surprise when he drove me to a farmhouse in Commerce and introduced me to Dr. Jerry Lytle, who was plowing a tractor at that time. He was plying in a field, and I remember his face was just running with sweat and straw hats and jeans, and certainly he didn't look like a director of financial aid at East Texas State University. But he got off of that tractor, and he walked over, and he introduced himself as the director of financial aid. My friends, Dr. Lytle was my first contact as a representative at ETSU some 40 years ago. We have formed a lasting relationship which continues today. As I completed my general studies and entered the teacher education program, I encountered some outstanding professors, truly outstanding professors. Dr. Sam Cochran of psychology, who modeled for me how to develop a passion for your discipline. I was inspired by the way in which he connected with his students, displaying enthusiasm and excitement during each of his class sessions. I watched him. I emulated him every day. And I know I said many a times, when I grow up, I want to be like Dr. Sam Cochran. As I entered graduate school, I encountered Dr. Harold Murphy, who taught me not to fear statistics. In fact, he told me that it was so easy that Trigger could stamp out those stat problems. I don't know if I believe that, because it wasn't that easy. However, I was able to slay those statistics. Following the completion of my master's degree, I was offered a job as an instructor of early childhood education in the Department of Elementary Ed. There I met Dr. L.D. Briggs, Dr. Durwood Richardson, and Dr. Alonzo Sosa, all retirees of Texas A&M Commerce. Commerce. Additionally, I was blessed to have developed a friendship with Dr. Janie Humphreys, who served as a powerful role model in early childhood education. Today, she remains a dear friend and colleague. These individuals, ladies and gentlemen, served as my mentors, teaching me the art of the professorship, and I am honored to have taught with them for many years in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. When I graduated from East Texas State University, I accepted a job with the Dallas Public Schools. And there I met Dr. Rosie Sorrells, who served as my Director of Early Childhood Education, and who, following her retirement after many years of service for children and families, and following her retirement, served as a member of the State Board of Education. She was and continues to be a great leader, one that I emulate time and time and time again. The impact of her strength, her character, and her intelligence on my life are simply unmeasurable. In fact, I was so impressed with her career accomplishments that I created a scholarship in her honor in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. Dr. Sorrells, you're here today. Thank you for your many years of service to young children and their families in the state of Texas. Now I would like to acknowledge a special group of individuals. They are so special to me. They put up with me day in and day out. And that is the faculty and staff members in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. This is an outstanding group of individuals. In fact, I sometimes wonder what would happen, President Jones, if this department was truly unplugged. I guess you're wondering, what does he mean by that? I mean, given the resources that they needed to pursue innovative programs in their own discipline, what would they be able to accomplish? What students would they be able to recruit? I am so fascinated and so fortunate to have a wonderful faculty that I work with day in and day out. Thank you, Department of C&I. You are outstanding. Additionally, I'd like to thank Dean Brent Mangus, who provides leadership in the College of Education and Human Services. Ladies and gentlemen, my life, as you can see, has been characterized by a series of good beginnings with powerful, very powerful role models. I want to encourage each faculty member to ensure that all of our students, especially students that are within the class of 2010, that all of our students encounter these good beginnings. You see, because good beginnings never truly end.